everyone, I'm Roya, I make stuff, and today, instead of showing you something that I made, like a cute DIY craft or whatever, I want to show you something that I built. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, I have no better ideas of how to start this video, so I'm sorry. So what I want to say is that I am currently past the halfway mark, and I'm actually almost done 75 hard challenge for mental discipline. Normally I don't do these types of challenges, but I figured that quarantine is the best time to get mentally and physically back into shape if you're somebody like me. I thought about whether or not I should do this challenge for a very long time, and I just thought I should just go with it this summer. Quick warning! I will be discussing tricky topics like body image, weight, eating patterns. If any of those topics are difficult to think about, please take care of yourself first. Please take care of yourself and remember that you have a choice in whether or not you want to watch this video. You know yourself best, so please keep yourself safe, guys. Alright, let's get into this. So what is 75 hard? So this is a challenge that was originally intended to create mental discipline within oneself by following 5 tasks for every single day for 75 days. Each task on its own might not be as challenging, but the combination of all those tasks together, repeated and maintained for a total duration of 75 days is what makes it very challenging. If you fail to complete one of the tasks, you will have to start all over again. I want the focus of this video to be more on my journey with this challenge rather than what the rules are. There's plenty of resources to find the rules. I'll put up here are the rules for some reference. Yeah, I know I'm not the biggest fan of the aesthetic, but the man has a point. There are a lot more resources that talk about each rule in greater detail, but for the purposes of this video, I will just be blitzing through each one. I'll briefly state all the different rules and the 5 tasks and how I plan to approach each task. So here are the rules in the order of what is easiest for me to talk about. The first rule is work out twice a day at 45 minutes per workout, and one of the workouts must be outdoors. So for my indoor workout, what I decided to do is break the 45 minutes up into 2 pieces. The first half is either a HIIT workout or a running workout on alternating days. Each workout has a different personal purpose and a personal goal for myself. The running is to slowly teach myself how to be able to run continuously. In the past, maybe I could run for like 1 to 2 minutes at a time, and then I'd immediately need to take a break. I wanted to learn how to run continuously, so meaning without stopping, for at least 5 kilometers, and that is my goal by the end of 75 hard. So for the second half of each 45-minute workout, I will be immediately jumping into yoga for multiple reasons. So yoga is actually very deceptively challenging, and I didn't realize this until I started doing it. There are honestly some days where I think that the HIIT is actually easier than the yoga. Yoga is very good for recovery, body awareness, practicing mindfulness, slowing things down, understanding how you feel, and also builds a lot of strength and attention towards different muscles that I would neglect otherwise. For example, there's a lot of HIIT workouts I wouldn't be able to do if I didn't start building up strength in yoga practices. If I didn't build up, wrist strength, just my wrists, through yoga. Rule number 2, that's 2. Drink a gallon of water.
That's a lot of water.
The recommended amount of water that people should drink is 8 cups a day. And a gallon is 16 cups of water, so that is twice that amount. It is way more water than the average person will ever need, but as somebody who was chronically dehydrated, I found that this much water actually does come in handy, especially when you're trying to regenerate all those cells after you're done all of your workouts. You need to get that cellular respiration, you need to get that ATP. We're all out here to get ATP here, and we also want to take good care of our body by making sure that it's nourished with the right things. Now this is the right number of fingers. Number 3, read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. Originally, the intent is to learn something new, learning about things that you can apply in your everyday life. So normally it would have been an entrepreneurship or a self-development book. To be fair, I actually read a lot about psychology and self-development to begin with. I thought that I would give myself an even bigger challenge this time around. Reading, your everyday self-help or self-development book is just not going to be as challenging for me, so I decided to amp it up a notch by reading books on contemporary philosophy, books about politics, books about things that I really wanted to devote the time to learning, but I just never did, and I never had the time or expertise to do so. This is something that I've actually always wanted to do, but I shied away from it because I never fully trusted myself to fully understand or complete it, which actually makes it the perfect challenge. So with my next books, I'm choosing them based off of the topics that I normally neglect, but I just want to learn more about. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to read any self-development books. I actually already have, spoiler, but I'll talk about that more in the next video. But anyway, out of these books, I will make at least one of them about self-development, so it's okay. Number 4, take a progress picture every single day. When people are going through a journey, they usually just remember what they were like at the beginning and they just know what they look like at the end because, you know, they're at the end. But they forget about all of the little details along the way that led them there. This is intended to keep yourself mindful of your own progress and your own journeys and challenges that you encountered along the way. Most importantly, how far you've come and how much effort you expended to get there. I might do a reveal at the very end, so there's going to be a part 2 of this. In addition to the progress picture, this is optional, not part of the challenge at all, but this is what I'm doing. In addition to a progress picture, I will also be recording my body composition and my measurements. So by body composition, I mean I have a special scale somewhere. Okay, there we go. So body composition scale, it doesn't only record your weight, it records your body fat percentage, it records your water content, muscle mass, visceral fat, subcutaneous fat, everything like that, just what is in your body. But even then, I don't think that's enough measurements. So I'm also going to be taking measurements of my own, like with a tape measure. So I don't have any specific goals of how I want my body to look by the end of this challenge. I don't expect it to really look a certain way, but I just kind of want to treat it as a science project almost. So if I optimize all of the parameters, what does my body end up looking like after 75 days of clean eating and lots of exercise? If I did mostly workouts that focused on my full body, what would my body with my genetics and everything look like? And any good scientist would have multiple measures of the dependent variable. And number 5. The hardest one to talk about for me, following a diet, no cheat meals, and also no alcohol. Yeah, there's a reason why I decided to talk about this one for the very last. This is complicated. The plan is not perfect. Eating is kind of a complicated topic if you're somebody like me, very susceptible to developing eating disorders. And I've also had a history of body dysmorphia. I'll save most of my opinions for a whole other video, but I am not the biggest fan of diet culture. I'm personally, in my heart, for myself, I am against the concept of cheat meals and labeling certain foods in your diet with a psychological association with being guilty or bad or unhealthy. You're pretty much assigning a moral label to certain foods. Having rules centered around food doesn't really make sense to me. In my experience, this kind of just encourages a binge and restrict cycle, which isn't fun. And as a result, if you restrict too much, it just becomes unsustainable and a lot harder to maintain after you're done your journey or transformation. So for my food goals, I am setting the intention of long-term sustainable habits and nutritional literacy. This means learning the nutritional content of what is in my food. Fiber, protein, vitamins, potassium. Food is a lot more than calories. Please, a lot of people need to learn this. It's actually nourishment and really important for your body. Just knowing what my own hunger cues are like. What does my body need at the time? On some days, I might feel like digestively things are just not working out, so I'll have to eat more vegetables. On some days, maybe my brain will just feel very tired and I will need some natural sugar, so maybe I should eat some fruit. Things like that. Understanding cues like that and being able to listen to it. And coming up with nutritionally sound alternatives to my favorite junk foods. To enjoy what I need without feeling like I'm depriving myself. That's the last thing I want. The last thing I want is to feel miserable and that I'm depriving myself. Also, really important, practicing gratitude for certain kinds of foods, feeling excited for when I eat them, knowing that a food is a treat sometimes. I want to look forward to my favorite foods and it doesn't make sense to have them every single day. I'm also a huge fan of following registered dietitians. I normally advocate for nutritional literacy and they use the language eating foods more often and less often instead of good or bad or healthy or unhealthy. So that's just my opinion, but what does this look like in the context of 75 Hard? So first thing, no alcohol. That's super easy. I barely drink, if ever. It's not gonna be a problem for me. No foods from outside for me, also easy because we're in quarantine and I have not eaten food from outside since the beginning of quarantine. Okay, and another thing, I guess, rule I'm making for myself is no prepackaged desserts or snacks unless I have fully read I just know that they're made out of whole foods. There are a couple of exceptions that I've looked up before. These are great. These are also good. And if in the case that I do eat them, I will have maximum 1 serving at a time. I will actually measure out the serving and see what is an appropriate amount of this food to eat. Also, another exception to this is protein bars, but also I will be looking carefully at the ingredients of protein bars. These are some of my favorites. So my weakness is desserts. I really love desserts. I have a huge sweet tooth. If I want something like that, I need to make it for myself, and it has to have some sort of nutritional integrity. Going with mostly unprocessed sugars, making them from whole foods like oats or beans, different types of fruit, things like that. Trying to focus on natural sweetness instead of added sweetness. For example, I really love ice cream. I really love ice cream. I know I can live without it. If I were on an island and I could have it, I could live without it. It's fine. But there's a way to enjoy it in a different way. I can get the satisfaction of the sensation that ice cream gives me from making banana ice cream or eating frozen fruits. And that's what I do, and it satisfies me and I feel good. I want to focus a little bit more on what I can eat versus what I can't eat. Canada's food guide in the 2019 food guide, nothing.
This is the 2019 food guide. Half of what is recommended is made out of fruits and vegetables. 1/4 is mostly plant-based proteins, and the rest is carbohydrates, which is another 1/4. I'll be doing my best to follow this diet given the nutritional needs.
So another very important part about this is that my nutritional needs will change throughout the course of this challenge. So that means adjusting the diet as needed. For example, let's say my body composition is telling me that I am losing muscle for some reason. That means that I should probably be eating a little bit more protein. Another example is, say that I have problems digesting my food and making sure that everything is smooth internally. If that's not working out, maybe that means I have to eat more fiber. As your lifestyle is changing, your nutritional and fitness requirements are going to change naturally. So make sure you adjust accordingly.
And that summarizes my approach to 75 Hard. The rest of the video is my vlog before I started the challenge and goes into why I decided to do this challenge. The next part of this series, I'll be showing more highlights of the challenge, so stay tuned!
Okay, hi. Today is Friday, May 15, 2020. We are in the middle of quarantine here where I live. Yeah, I've been out of school for I think it's been about 2 weeks since I handed in my last assignment of the semester. I am someone who kind of depends on some level of external structure, and frankly, there's not that much of that. There are ways I can like sprinkle structure in, make these like kind of like fake schedules, but then there's no telling if I'm going to stick to it. There's no telling if I'm going to take a nap in the middle of the day. For a very long time, so actually a couple of months now, back when I was still, like, before quarantine, I think this was around January, I learned about something called a 75 Hard challenge. The whole intention of the challenge is to create, just reintegrate that discipline back in your life and reintegrate kind of just mental toughness. It's a mental toughness challenge. It's not like a weight loss challenge. The goal isn't to lose weight. The goal is basically to show yourself that you can implement this discipline, follow through with it, and it's not meant to be easy, it's meant to be challenging, and you can stick to this. If you can
do this
challenge, then you can do anything. So what I like about this is that the priority isn't image-based. It's not like, oh, you're gonna like get a fat butt, like you're gonna get this like bubble booty, bubble butt bullshit. It's not promising that you'll get abs. It's not promising anything.
Editor's note: if you indeedly doodly have a bubble booty, that's amazing. Great job. A lot of people work very hard to look different, and that's something that motivates them. However, turning my own body to look like somebody else or to enhance targeted body parts doesn't help me personally. I want to do my best to build full body strength and find something that motivates me.
I need to be honest with myself for why I'm doing this, my own intention. So I mentioned a few of them earlier. Like, I like exercise, not gonna lie. I like it, but I've like connected diet and exercise lately to something being really image based. So as in, it's based on how I look. Like, I expect myself to look a certain way after I perform. Like, the reason why someone would perform exercise or change their diet is to look a certain way. And that is what I've been feeling for until quarantine, because it's like, I don't have to go outside, no one's gonna see me except maybe on YouTube. I don't know. I can make a whole video about my whole exercise journey, whatever, bringing exercise and nutrition to be something valuable in my life. That is a different video. That is not this video. This one is about me right now in May 2020 considering doing this challenge. Even though the majority of the reasons why I'm doing it is like very structure based and very like, I just want to enjoy exercise again, I want to enjoy food and nutrition and stuff again, I want to just feel like, I just want to feel like a regular human being again. And I mean, I still am a regular human being. It's not like I'm a fucking rat or something. Like, I'm not mad at myself for losing track of my life, but I think I can just do better. A very small part of it, but nonetheless still a part of it, and I need to acknowledge that, is it is a teeny bit image based. So who I am, what I look like at the beginning of this challenge, I expect that I would look different by the end of this challenge. But not to say that I look bad now and then I'll look like better later. It's not like I'm a shit, like, garbage version of myself now, and then like suddenly I transform into somebody else and then no one will recognize me. And the biggest change I'm hoping to see is that I can accept really difficult experiences and make the time for myself, make the time for my body and my own goals. So one other thing I want to talk about right now is I want to acknowledge like my current body right now. I'm enjoying quarantine. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I'm fortunately privileged enough to have a home. I am living with my family. When people started quarantine, everyone's like, great, I'm gonna just eat whatever I want. People get stressed out, they eat snacks, myself included, that's fine. And for a very long time I was like, you know what, even though I like exercise, I'm just not gonna do it. I was like rejecting it, and I was like, you should maybe go for a walk outside because it's nice and there's like a forest. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, you can't tell me what to do, I'm not going for a walk. And I just kind of had this like whole push and pull thing in my head about like, oh, what I should do versus what I shouldn't do, and I was getting really rebellious. And you know, I would kind of like angrily eat a lot of snacks. Like, I would angrily binge eat because I could. After quarantine, I'm like, well, no one has to see me, so I can eat whatever the fuck I want. And then I did. And I'm not mad. I'm glad I got the chance to do that, but I don't want to keep doing it forever. I'm not upset with where my body is right now. I think like it's a little back to its default state, and its default state is just genetically what I have. I am losing a little bit of muscle. I am lying down more. I am taking naps. I am resting. That's okay. I just don't want to do it forever, and I don't want to lose my momentum. I think all of us, before transformation, we need to have this like thought process, just devote some time to appreciate where our body is right now and accept where our body is right now. Because in the case we do go back to it, maybe one day I will go back to this body, I won't be like, oh man, I'm a failure. I used to be so, like, I used to have a completely different body. I used to be so hot. I used to be, like, really fit. And now I'm a slob. Like, I don't want to feel that way. My body is my body. I have one body and I need to take care of it for my whole life. Shout out to my body for doing a lot of things, as in taking food, separating the nutrients, going down my digestive tract, absorbing all those lipids using the lacteal. I don't even know if that's right. Thank you for knowing how to repair its muscle. Going out for walks. I have a pair of legs and it can take me places. The fact that I can like drink water and that will
like without thinking about like what the water should do, it will just do its job. I just put things in and I trust my body to do its job, and then it's done. It just does what is expected of it. Another thing is, I've had such a hardcore binge that like I'm developing a lot of pimples. Like I've got a whole pimple garden on my chin. I've got one over here. I don't usually get pimples, but here are your quarantine pimples, guys. I think that's enough babbling for today, and I will come back if I end up doing the 75 hard challenge. I'll see you later.
That about concludes part 1 of my 75 hard challenge video. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments, or I don't really know. If you want, you could smash that like button. Might help me out or something. I will be talking about how things have evolved since the challenge began, and I will also be sharing my results, hopefully, so when I'm done. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone.